Welcome back to the Financial Symmetry Show. Allison Berger, I'm joined by Will Holt today, and we are talking about a topic that is not one of our favorite ones, but it's very necessary. We're going to talk about behaviors you can cultivate and those you can look for in your loved ones as well to avoid falling victim to financial fraud and allowing that to derail your retirement. So, Will, I know we've both seen some instances of this in 2022. What are you seeing so far?
Yeah, telephone scams, somebody pretending to be tech support. Uh, I had a family member who got a call saying her antivirus software was out of date and the subscription needed to be updated, and wound up, long story short, the scammer got access to her computer. So she gave them control of her computer and got into the bank account and was almost going to sweep out thousands of dollars. But luckily, she was able to put a stop to that. And the first thing she did was went to the bank and discussed, what happened with the bank manager. So luckily, disaster avoided, but still, yeah, telephone scams. And this is tax season. So one of the more common frauds is identity theft, where a scammer will get a hold of a taxpayer's social security number and file a fraudulent return, prior to the taxpayer filing the legitimate return. The scammers does that in order to claim a refund. And so when the taxpayer goes to submit their return electronically, the IRS says, nope, we've already gotten a return with that social security number. And so that there's a process in place. So the taxpayer is protected. However, of course, there's lots of inconvenience and delays, it's a headache. And, in the news recently is romantic fraud, where, somebody basically pretends to be somebody they're really not, and gains the trust of somebody, through a relationship, and winds up, taking, potential, or often winds up taking a great deal of money from someone who trusts them.
That's the scariest one, in my opinion, is that romantic fraud. And what I learned in learning about that, and from the Netflix show, the Tinder Swindler, which I've been having trouble saying, is you also need to be very careful about a new person giving you money, so depositing money into your bank account. That could be a high risk activity as well. So, what are some of the behaviors that we can cultivate to reduce the risk that we or one of our loved ones falls victim to this?
So, like, for instance, the IRS will not call you. The IRS is going to send you a communication through the mail. So if there's some kind of issue with your tax returns or whatever it may be, the IRS will not give you a call and say that, that they need access to your personal information. They will send you a letter that you need to respond to. Um, and then, of course, um, don't. What happens often is these scammers, they'll get you on the phone, or whatever it may be. They try to rush you into making a decision right now. And often the best course is to just, no, let's wait a minute. I need to talk to some people to verify these things that you're telling me. So it's not going to hurt anything to wait 24 hours to go to some trusted people to verify the information that you're receiving. And yes, and then also, of course, make sure that that you have someone that you know and trust, that understands your situation. It could be a family member. I think of elderly folks who maybe they've lost their longtime spouse, and now they are doing things on their own. Well, it'd be really great if they had some trusted family members, adult children that knows their situation. And of course, we play a role as fiduciary advisors, working with our clients to be that trusted source.
Yes, make sure the person that you're using as your third party or your thinking partner on these issues is someone that's trustworthy, that you've known a long time. If they're a financial advisor or someone in the industry, make sure they are operating as a fiduciary. Those are all good things that you can do. And as Will mentioned, there's never a need to rush. So it's always okay to tell someone that you'll call them back. It's something that you need to think about, or you need to talk over with your spouse or your adult child, or another third party before you move forward. Could even be helpful to go ahead and write yourself a statement like that and keep it by the phone, so that's something you feel comfortable saying and you don't have to feel pressured in that moment. And of course, there's no blame or shame in these situations. Scammers are becoming extremely sophisticated. They're, as Will and I discuss in the podcast, this is a full-time job for them. They are continuously working to get better. They have scripts that they go by and a lot of ways to manipulate us. So we are all vulnerable to this, some just to greater degrees than others. So we want to just remember that all of our information is out there. Everyone is vulnerable. It's just a question of the extent and the actions that you can take and behaviors to cultivate to reduce your risk. Will, any closing thoughts?
Just, like you mentioned, understand that your data is out there. Somebody who will try to use that data to manipulate you to provide them access to your financial information. These people will do anything and everything they can to get at that, and just knowing that that there are people that you can trust, and there are resources that are available to make sure that you're protected against this type of activity.
Absolutely. We have a lot more resources for you on our blog and on our website, so be sure to check those out. We put these YouTube videos out every 2 weeks, so be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss the next one. Thanks a lot.